Hola, buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a question for you. Are you learning Spanish? And by you, I mean you. Oh, and I also mean you over there. And I mean you over there, and hey, you, way back there, you too. Ladies and gentlemen, are you learning Spanish? If the answer is yes, you're in the right place. Now, I'd like to know, what level are you at? Never mind that, it actually doesn't matter. Middle school? High school? Are you a non-native speaker? Are you learning Spanish as a second language from scratch the way I did? Are you an adult learning Spanish for the first time in college? Yeah, good old Spanish 101. Or are you a native speaker who is studying the language formally for the first time? Whatever your situation is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the place for you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Ross. I'm also known as Miguel Ross, and for the purpose of this channel, please call me Señor Arroz. Now, you're probably wondering, Señor Arroz, if Spanish 1 tells us that arroz means rice, then what does all this mean? Okay. My first year as a teacher, there was a student who just simply liked to pronounce my last name like that. Okay, he thought that my last name, if you said it with Spanish language pronunciation, kind of came off like arroz. Okay, he had a sense of humor about it, so did I. So, hey, sometimes I go with that, and that's kind of the spirit of my classes. Yes, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator. I currently teach high school Spanish in Southern California. Now, the next thing you're probably wondering is, this Señor Arroz guy, what's his background in Spanish? How the heck did he ever become a Spanish teacher at any level? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a non-native speaker. Spanish is not my first language. I learned from scratch. My mother is Mexican, that makes me half Mexican. My father is part Italian, Scottish, and a whole lot of other things. My mother speaks some Spanish, and yet growing up, never really spoke to me in Spanish, never really taught me anything. I learned from scratch in high school. Good old Spanish 1, Spanish 2, I climbed up the ladder, but here's the thing. I had great teachers. I took AP Spanish. I passed the AP Spanish test. No surprise, I was in love with the language. I decided to major in it in college. I earned 2 bachelor's degrees. One in language and linguistics, the other kind of based on literature and culture. Next thing you knew, I was in the master's program, earning my master's in Spanish language, linguistics, culture, and literature. Next thing I knew, all my best friends are Spanish speakers, and I'm speaking to them and their families all the time in Spanish. Next thing you know, my friends pull me into some plays, some theatrical plays, Spanish language plays, and there I am on stage in one play after another, speaking Spanish and enjoying and loving the culture. Ladies and gentlemen, in a nutshell, that's my background. Today I teach high school Spanish in Southern California. So, my channel is going to be about Spanish language learning, especially for the non-native speaker, the student who is learning from scratch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong. There are so many videos out there on YouTube about grammar, every concept that you can think of, from the alphabet to numbers, advanced grammar. There are plenty of YouTubers who have already done those and done those very well. They're out there, trust me. Okay, but my channel is going to focus on a lot of things that I think of as the forgotten lessons or the neglected lessons. The kinds of concepts that you typically don't find in a textbook and don't seem to be taught very often. The kind of things that I didn't really learn when I was in high school, because for the most part it wasn't in the book. I learned later, and I'm also going to focus on little tips and tricks for learning the language, speaking the language. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this may be designed mostly for the non-native speaker, but native speakers, trust me, if you tune in, you'll find one or two things at the very least interesting. This channel is also geared towards teachers. That's right, teachers, I'm talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, after many years of experience in the classroom, I have some tips, some methodologies, some tricks to offer. And teachers, if you're willing to tune in, and even better, if you're willing to subscribe down below, you may find what I have to offer interesting. And finally, I just don't think you can study a language without studying the culture. And I find that when you study the culture, you experience the culture, you listen to the music, you see the films, you taste the food, I think you fall in love with the culture. So, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to Spanish language learning, tips for students, tips for teachers, this channel will also be devoted to the celebration of Latino culture. If this sounds good, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video. He dicho.